It was a beautiful Saturday morning in the sun-drenched kitchen. Leo stood by the counter, his stomach rumbling in anticipation. His grandmother, Rose, had just finished baking her famous sunshine muffins. But when she turned around from the stove, her eyes went wide. The tray on the windowsill was completely empty. "Oh dear," Rose cried. "Where have my muffins gone?" Leo adjusted his detective hat. "Don't worry, Nana," he said bravely. "The Five Senses detective is on the case." Leo knew that every good detective starts with their eyes. He pulled a magnifying glass from his pocket and leaned down close to the floor. "Aha!" he whispered. He spotted a trail of golden-brown specks leading away from the window and across the blue rug. Using his sense of sight, Leo followed the trail. The crumbs were small and round, glowing like tiny stars in the morning light. The trail of crumbs stopped right beneath the long, velvet curtains in the living room. Leo stood very still and used his ears. He closed his eyes to focus. At first, he heard the ticking of the clock, but then he heard something else. Scritch-scratch, scritch-scratch. It was a tiny, rhythmic sound coming from behind the heavy fabric. Leo's sense of hearing told him that something, or someone, was hiding right there. Leo reached for the curtain, but a sudden breeze blew in through the open garden door. He took a deep breath, using his nose. The air was filled with the sweet, unmistakable scent of honey and warm cinnamon. His sense of smell was like a map, and the map pointed straight out into the backyard. "The thief is heading for the garden," Leo shouted, pointing his finger toward the bright grass outside. Leo dashed into the garden, searching near the rose bushes. He reached out and used his hands to check the branches. Instead of a prickly thorn, his fingers brushed against something soft and ticklish. He pulled away a tiny tuft of gray fur that had snagged on a twig. His sense of touch told him the thief was very fluffy. It felt just like a soft wool sweater. Just past the rose bushes, Leo found one last clue resting on a clean wooden garden table. It was a single, large chunk of muffin. To be absolutely sure it was Nana's recipe, Leo used his sense of taste. He popped the small piece into his mouth. It was sweet, crumbly, and tasted exactly like honey. "This is definitely the missing treasure," Leo confirmed with a nod. Leo looked up into the branches of the great oak tree. There, sitting on a sturdy branch, was a squirrel named Pip. Pip was holding a whole sunshine muffin in his tiny paws, looking very guilty. Leo pointed up and laughed. "I found you, Pip. My eyes saw your crumbs. My ears heard your scratching. My nose smelled your snack. My hands felt your fur. And my tongue tasted your trail." Just then, Rose walked into the garden carrying a small wooden bowl. She wasn't angry at all. "He must have been very hungry to take so many," she said softly. Rose placed the bowl on the ground near the tree. It was filled with crunchy acorns and sunflower seeds. She looked up at the squirrel and smiled. "Pip, would you like to trade that muffin for something more squirrel-friendly?" Pip looked at the muffin, then looked at the pile of seeds. With a happy chirp, he dropped the muffin. Leo jumped forward and caught it right before it hit the grass. Pip scurried down the trunk, grabbed a large acorn, and vanished back into the leaves. Leo held the muffin up high. "Case closed," he cheered. Back in the kitchen, Rose and Leo sat down at the table. They shared the rescued muffin, which was still a little bit warm. Leo felt very proud of his hard work. "You're the best detective in town, Leo," Rose said, giving him a hug. Leo smiled, already listening for the next mystery, smelling the next clue, and looking for the next adventure.